Once dominating Chicago's Gold Coast neighborhood was a castle-like mansion of unimaginable luxury. But who owned it, and better yet, what happened to it? Hi everyone, Ken here. Today we are uncovering the Palmer Mansion. Hit that subscribe button and let's explore this house. This video is brought to you in part by Victorian Society in America. More on them later. Potter and Bertha Palmer were no ordinary couple. Their lives were intertwined with the rise of Chicago, and together they shaped the city's future in ways few others could. Their story is not just one of wealth and power, but also of vision, resilience, and a lasting legacy that continues to influence Chicago's landscape and culture today. Born in Albany County, New York in 1826, Potter Palmer grew up in a strict Quaker household. His upbringing instilled in him a deep respect for time and hard work. From an early age, Palmer showed a natural talent for business, and by the time he was 18, he had already set his sights on a career in commerce, working as a clerk before opening his own store in Oneida, New York. Yet, it was in Chicago, a city on the verge of explosive growth, that captured Palmer's imagination. Arriving in Chicago in 1852, Palmer wasted no time establishing his dry goods store, Potter Palmer & Company. It wasn't just a store, it was a revolution in retailing. Unlike many other merchants of his time, Palmer catered specifically to women, creating an inviting atmosphere where they could shop freely. He introduced the groundbreaking policy of allowing customers to return goods with no questions asked, a strategy that nurtured loyalty and built his reputation as a forward-thinking businessman. His success was meteoric, and by 1865, he brought on partners Marshall Field and Levi Leiter. Together they formed a new venture that would eventually become the iconic Marshall Field & Company, one of the largest and most prestigious department store chains in the Midwest. But Palmer's ambitions extended far beyond retail. In 1867, on the advice of his doctor, he retired from active business at the age of 38 and turned his attention to real estate, a decision that would change the face of Chicago forever. When the Great Fire of 1871 devastated the city, destroying many of his properties, Palmer's resolve only strengthened. He borrowed $1.7 million, a record-breaking loan for a private individual, and set about rebuilding. Palmer's efforts transformed State Street into the bustling commercial hub it remains today, and his Palmer House Hotel became a symbol of luxury and resilience in the heart of the city. In 1870, Palmer married Bertha Honoré, a 21-year-old woman from Louisville, Kentucky. Bertha was a force of nature, beautiful, intelligent, and socially adept. Despite their 23-year age difference, the Palmers' marriage was one of mutual respect and partnership. While Potter built his real estate empire, Bertha ascended to the heights of Chicago society, becoming one of its most influential figures. Her social grace, combined with her business acumen, made her a leader in both philanthropy and the arts. Together, the Palmers were an unstoppable duo, embodying the spirit of the Gilded Age in every sense, including a larger-than-life mansion. But before we head inside, a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, Victorian Society in America. Are you obsessed with historic architecture? Have you ever wanted to go beyond reading and learning to actually experiencing historically and architecturally significant sites? With the Victorian Society in America, you can travel to American cities and tour exceptional 19th century buildings. Join the Victorian Society in America this October for an educational tour in St. Louis, Missouri. The itinerary is packed with exciting visits to key architectural sites, landscapes, and artistic gems in and around the greater St. Louis area. Click the link in the video description to visit victoriansociety.org and register today. Thank you, Victorian Society in America, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's explore this house. Perhaps the most visible symbol of their success was the Palmer Mansion, a sprawling estate on Lakeshore Drive that became the centerpiece of Chicago's exclusive Gold Coast. Designed by architects Henry Ives Cobb and Charles Sumner Frost, the mansion was nothing short of a castle. Completed in 1885, it featured 42 rooms, each designed in a different historical style, from the opulent Louis XVI salon to the Moorish room, where the rugs were infused with rare perfumes. The ballroom and gallery, 75 feet long, was adorned with paintings by French Impressionists, including works by Monet and Renoir, which Bertha had carefully curated over the years. The mansion wasn't just a home, it was a social epicenter. The Palmers entertained the most prominent figures of their time, including US presidents, European royalty, and industrialists. It was during the 1893 World's Colombian Exposition, where Bertha played a key role as president of the board of lady managers, that the mansion truly shone. The Palmers hosted lavish receptions, drawing the world's elite to their doorstep. Under Bertha's leadership, the Exposition became a showcase not only for Chicago, but also for the achievements of women, marking a significant moment in the city's and the nation's cultural history. Yet as grand as their lives were, they were not without challenges. In 1902, Potter Palmer passed away in his beloved mansion. He left Bertha with an $8 million fortune, but she was far from content to merely enjoy her wealth. Bertha was just as shrewd a businesswoman as her husband had been a businessman. Over the next 16 years, she doubled the Palmer fortune through savvy investments, particularly in real estate in Florida. In Sarasota, Florida, Bertha became a pioneer, developing vast tracts of land into ranches, farms, and residential communities. Her investments laid the foundation for the growth of Sarasota, and much of the land she once owned is still known today as Palmer Ranch. Despite her busy life as a businesswoman, Bertha remained an influential figure in the art world. She continued to collect masterpieces, amassing an impressive collection of Impressionist paintings. Upon her death in 1918, many of these works were donated to the Art Institute of Chicago, forming the core of its now famous collection. However, the Palmer Mansion did not share the same fate as their art collection. After Bertha's death, the mansion passed through various owners, including industrialist Vincent Hugo Bendix, who had grand plans to turn the property into a hotel. Those plans never materialized, and by 1950, the mansion, once the largest private residence in Chicago, was demolished to make way for modern high-rise apartments. The destruction of the Palmer Mansion marked the end of an era, the final chapter in the story of Chicago's Gilded Age. Yet even in its absence, the legacy of Potter and Bertha Palmer continues to shape Chicago. Potter's vision for State Street, his pioneering real estate ventures, and his role in rebuilding the city after the Great Fire remain foundational to the city's identity. Bertha's influence on the arts, her philanthropic work, and her leadership in women's rights continues to inspire generations. Together, they were not just a couple of immense wealth and status, they were visionaries who helped to build Chicago into the great metropolis it is today. The Palmers were a rare combination of pragmaticism and grandeur, vision and action. They understood the power of wealth, not just as a means of personal comfort, but as a tool for creating something lasting, something that would endure beyond their lifetimes. Though their mansion may no longer stand, the impact of Potter and Bertha Palmer can still be felt in the streets of Chicago, in the halls of the Art Institute, and in the legacy of the Gold Coast. What did you think about the Palmer Mansion? Let me know down below in the comment section. I'd also like to thank Victorian Society in America for sponsoring this video. Make sure to check out their upcoming tour by visiting the link in the video description. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time on This House.